Hi, everyone. This is Kay. I'm the creator of Sacred Astrology at circleofbreath.com. I've been an astrologer since the late 80s, early 90s, and I backed off for a long time because I realized with the Uranian, Plutonian, Neptunian connections that were happening at the end of last century and the beginning of this century, there was something outside of astrology that I wanted to bring into astrology. And I did not have a language for it. Astrology itself is a language. And what happens is we rehash that language, and there are many, many great young astrologers now diving into historical texts, reviving old language and adapting it to our situation now. So it's very inspiring. My response is great. It's all wonderful. And that's not what I would like to do with astrology. And what I would like to do with astrology is come to the earthen core, the molten core of the earth, connect with the core of the earth, with the core of our being. I've realized different traditions, different mindsets, different people have different associations with that word core. For some, the core of the being is the core of the physical body. For some, it's the core, the essence, the silent space in the depths of the heart. For some, it's an emptiness and a balance and a no thingness at the center of mind. And for some, it's an annihilation, a centeredness rooted only in spirit. And part of this is the process of language itself and the process of study and the process of the last 1,000 years of deconstructing everything to understand it. So we've picked it apart. But the core of the earth is the core of everything that lives on the earth. And the core of my being, your being, a human being, is the core of all that makes us human, in a way like nested dolls, the nested hierarchies, nested fields of intelligence. So we do have the physical body, we do have the core, and there's an intelligence there. And we do have the heart body, and there's a deep depth, and there's an intelligence there. And we do have mind, and there's a silence and an openness and a possibility for receptivity of incredible intelligence there. And there's spirit. And there's a core of that too. And I feel as though in this culture, at this time, even all of that is commodified and broken down and taught in little pieces. But when I feel astrology, I feel it as one thing at each moment. So in order to talk about it, we have to break it apart and say, the sun is doing this, the moon is doing this, Mercury, Venus, all the planets, all the way out to the asteroids and the Plutos and the centaurs. But they're not separate. They're all playing in a symphony. And we are playing in that symphony. So on the dark of the moon, which we're in now, there is a lunar lull in the pulse of that symphony. There are maybe other vibrations that are taking center stage, but the lunar pull on the physicality and the emotionality of the body in this particular moon at this particular time on this location of the earth is at a lull. And that lull feels like a beautiful exhale. And what happens at the very bottom of that exhale, when all of the air is gone, and there's a nanosecond of emptiness and silence before the turnaround. Now, in the popularity of breath work, people hack it, they stretch it, they elongate it, they power it, they use it for everything that it can be used for. But I'm saying here just to notice it. Give it your full attention for a nanosecond. And the energy of this time echoes that in a larger way. It's possible for the last 12 and the next 24 hours before we start the new moon. Then the inhale begins again. But taking this time to notice the physicality of astrology in the small moments, breath by breath, not to drive yourself crazy, but just know that it's available anytime. Just like you can send a text to someone you love at any time, your breath can be tuned into for a moment at any time, and you can receive the juice of your emptiness. So here we are. I'm doing this work today. I'm doing this video today at noon today, or slightly after Pacific time. There is a wonderful Earth trine, and it's moon. Let's see, what is it? Moon in Virgo, late Virgo, Pluto, late Capricorn, Uranus, late Taurus. It's not an exact trine, but I feel things when they're not exact. My body feels them. So I feel things like blendings of color. Now back to the Earth trine with the breath. The Earth trine, when you connect the core of your being, and the starting point is wherever you're at, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, organ, subtle body, the core that kind of lines up everything of your being, when that's connected consciously to the core of the molten earth, the earth contains it. There's a release in the system down into and connecting with the vibrational frequency of the earth. We are connected there. And when we bring our awareness and our attention to it, and we notice how we're breathing there, if we can stay with that for a few moments or cycles of breath, the process of grounding allows things to find their place. And when they do, the subtle bodies can stop holding and protecting just a little bit. To me, that is the great gift of the dark side of the moon. If someone tells you to look for the drama, you'll see the drama. If someone tells you to look for the beauty, you'll find the beauty. And actually, they're both there. So find out with your breath and the connection with the core of your being to the earth, what configuration, what sound is coming from the depths of your being and responding to this time before this eclipse and this new moon, with no pressure to make it be anything. The only work is to very gently hold your attention at the core and how the core runs through all of the subtle bodies of your being. And all of these have correspondences with planetary movements and configurations. That's the gift for me of the dark side of the moon right now. And I wanted to share that with you. You can find me at www.circleofbreath.com. Have a beautiful week. Take care, and I'll see you next time.